phone call with senior MF Global employees wherein, and now those same employees have been caught lying and saying we met but didn't talk about anything. One employee, at 2 in the morning, we just met and didn't do anything at the office. One employee indicated that Mr. Corzine knew about the loans and had been made from the customer segregated accounts. Of course he knew. Now they're saying no one knows. The government knows where the money went. It was J.P. Morgan. CME Group has provided this information, the names of the individuals, to the DOJ. Good luck. The DOJ's run by, from our research, the guy that ran the OKC bombing. These are hardcore killers, folks. Man, I can't believe I have to challenge killers like this, but I have to do it. Somebody's got to not be a coward. Continuing, individuals to the DOJ and the CFTC who were investigating these matters. Boom. Well, again, Max, we're going to go to break, come back and play the clip, keep you longer because I want to go to calls. But, I mean, it's right there. The Justice Department knows. They're telling the public they don't know where $1,200,000,000 at least went. The government knows where a $10,000 check goes. They know where every dime went. They knew a month ago it was J.P. Morgan. But they're God, so no one can talk about them.
Yeah. Right on, brother.
I mean, how far does it go? How far will they go, Max?
The question is, how far will we go? Vigilante justice and the global insurrection is on the move. It's on the cover of Time magazine. Now we got to get some scalps, baby, because we're on the march. There's no government, there's no law, but it doesn't mean we have to play by their rules. We know who the criminals are. We know that they've stolen our money. Time for vigilante justice.
Now, you see, Max, the globalist, well, then why are Soros and others knee-deep in the Occupy? I'm not saying Occupy is bad, but they're trying to control it. They want to brand the revolution towards collectivism to suck more of the middle class's money and give it to the offshore banks. So how do you navigate that morass?
Well, Soros and the Occupy movement is just one facet of this global insurrection against banker occupation. So
I agree. And the media is using it to brand everything as some Okay, stay there. I got to play this video clip of what we just read when we come back, and then we'll keep you even longer if you can do it. Take some calls, maybe to 45 after. MaxKeiser.com is his website. Our websites are Prisonplanet.tv and Infowars.com. We're risking it all to tell you the truth because we know there's no future if we don't beat these psychopathic, crazy people. I watch all little info babes up on TV, reading off teleprompters, lying to people. I see the general public starting to wake up, and Congress has an incredibly low approval rating, 9%, but that's not enough. A lot of people out there think they're awake, but then they still laugh at things I talk about. That's because they have no idea how bad things are, and they haven't studied history. They've lived in the lap of luxury and freedom. And like termites, the criminals have been beavering away under us. And now people's feet are starting to go through the floor. You lean on a wall, it falls in. People are starting to realize, man, there's something going on here. And the recklessness of these elites is frightening because it shows megalomania has set in. I mean, if that was some evil, wicked kingpin, I'd try to have things, conservative, focused, incremental. They don't do that. They're just wild now, which shows the megalomania has set in. Now, what's changed with the head of the CME Group? That's the biggest commodities group out there, trillions of dollars. Terry Duffy. A few weeks ago, he was acting like we were crazy to say this stuff, even attacking Gerald Celente by name. Now he's come out and said, no, Corzine did know, and our people were there, and I've given the names of the Justice Department. And see, he went off script there in that whole staged meeting, where none of them asked real questions. They all know that. They're all allowed to insider trade and say they're above the law in Congress. Let's go to the clip of it and get Max Keiser's take on it. Come back in a long segment and take calls. Here's that clip of the testimony yesterday. And this isn't just my interpretation. Here's Financial Times of London, the real globalist publication. CME chief alleges Corzine aware of transfers. That's what's sending gold and silver down, because it's destroying the commodity end of it. But we're going to break that down in a moment. Here's the clip.
CFTC and CME staff and auditors returned to the firm on Sunday, October 30th, and were informed by MF Global employees that this discrepancy was caused by, quote, an accounting error. Our auditors worked with the CFTC, devoted the rest of the day and night Sunday to find the so-called accounting error. No such error was ever found. Instead, at about 2 a.m. Monday morning, October 31st, MF Global informed both the CFTC and CME at approximately the same time that the shortfall was real and that customer segregated funds have been transferred out of segregation to the firm's broker-dealer accounts. After receiving this information, CME remained at MF Global while MF Global attempted to identify funds that could be transferred into segregation to reduce or eliminate the discrepancy. A CME auditor also participated in a phone call with senior MF Global employees wherein one employee indicated that Mr. Corzine knew about the loans that had made for the customer segregated accounts. CME Group has provided this information
and then
these individuals to the Department of Justice. And
back it up. Our video, for whatever reason, we're going to get new computers. It's saved. We're not editing it. It just is buffering. Back it up a few seconds, and we'll try to play it there. I don't know why the computers do this, but go ahead and play it again.
CME Group has provided this information of these individuals to the Department of Justice and the CFTC who are investigating these matters.
Oh, that must be on the C-SPAN video itself. Okay, so there you go, Max Keiser, and that's now on the record, and they just wanted to move on from that, didn't they?
Well, he knew that when he said that it would open a can of worms, but it gives you a tick-tock, the timeline of when Corzine got the call from Jamie over there at J.P. Morgan and threatened to kill him. Because after a few weeks, when the money wasn't showing up, he said, well, take it out of the customer money or we'll kill you. So that's the timeline, and it's America, and that's the way business is done now. We've got killers who run big Wall Street firms, but that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And if you have any money in a brokerage firm or a bank, you're an idiot because it's now gone. There's no rule. Now, we'll see whether this goes. I mean, this obviously, what will happen to this case is in order to absolve the people, the crooks involved, they're going to need to pass some new laws very quickly. Obama, in reaction to this, and Holder, in reaction to this blatant law-breaking, will pass new laws. That's been the history on Wall Street. If you get caught breaking the law, they pass new laws. Like Goldman Sachs passed a new law when they were caught breaking an SEC regulation about offering stock of Facebook to insiders beyond what's allowed by SEC law. So what do? They're getting Congress to pass a new law. When you just see examples of this every day. So
instead of it, we'll stay there. Instead, we've got to go to break. But instead of things getting better and enforcing the law, they just change it. Kind of like when Bush got caught spying without warrants on citizens, they changed the law. Or they get caught torturing. They try
for telecom spying for years. Verizon and other telecom companies, they just gave them immunity. Okay, so they just give them immunity. They'll change the law, and they'll say it's for national security. And then we'll move on. And they'll say, I don't want to focus on the past. All
right, we'll stay there then. But stay there. Because as you said, they've got the bank accounts all tied to derivatives. It's all gone.
We're on the...
Okay, I want to break down what comes next and what Max Keiser thinks the fallout from this is going to be. And then we'll take your calls for the balance of the hour. He's been very helpful and gracious to spend this much time with us today. Before I go back to Max Keiser at maxkeiser.com, I wanted to remind everybody that you support this broadcast when you click on our sponsors and check out their great products at Infowars.com and Prisonplanet.com. When you support the sponsors that you hear here nationally on the radio and the sponsors that you hear on your local AM and FM stations. And it's key to do that, and I appreciate your support. We're having a big effect, and we're risking our lives, our names, our treasure, our families in this fight. Because we realize tyranny cannot be bargained with. Certainly not when it's reached this stage 4, like cancer. We've got a very slim chance of turning it around before the full implosion. It will turn around once it fully falls apart. So now is the time to get the word out about the free podcast and about the YouTube channel and about the free audio streams or about the local AM or FM you're listening to us on. America's in desperate straits. The world is. If you're listening right now, driving in your car, next red light you hit, roll it down and say, hey, tune to this AM or FM station, the station I'm on right now. Or if you're listening tonight, when you walk in that 7-Eleven or whatever, tell them, hey, tune in, hear the truth. It's on right now. They're listening on XM. Same thing. Tell people that you see in parking lots, hey, have you got XM? Tune to this channel. People are like, that's so alien to do that. No, We've become alien to American culture of liberty. It's time to just get the buzz going. How many police officers call here that have woken up and say they woke up because somebody told them 5 years ago about Infowars.com or gave them a copy of one of my films? We're reaching more than 15 million people a week now. It's growing fast. And believe me, I'm on the globalist radar. I'm on the White House enemies list. That's come out in the news. The White House has responded to articles we've put out. We're having an effect. You better believe it. We're on the Drudge Report every week now, twice yesterday, 2 different articles. And I pray that, you know, for protection. I pray for your prayers. But it's all in God's hands. I'm not living in fear. They kill me tomorrow, set me up, whatever. They've got to be face down. These are really bad people. And I want to encourage you this Christmas to give the gift of truth. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, it's a great excuse to wake somebody up. You can get all 18 of my films on DVD, all 18, for $99.95, and it ends at the end of the month. If you order by Sunday evening, it's guaranteed shipped anywhere in the U.S. before Christmas. Infowars.com, the Alex Jones Everything Special. You can get 18 gifts for people and not fight the crowds or buy stuff you don't need. So again, Infowars.com, the online shopping cart, or 888-253-3139. Or get it in the mail today. It should get here. P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas, 78760. P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas, 78760. And again, when I plug sponsors or videos, it's all things I believe in, and it's all things that fund this operation. Fueling the tanks on our weapon system to go out and expose the globalists some more. But the most important thing is keep spreading the word about the broadcast. It's working. It's working. That's why all my films are online for free. You can buy them on DVD in high quality if you want, but they're all there. Obama Deception, Fall of the Republic, Endgame. Get the links. Get them out to people. Don't know how to find them? Search it. Now, I want to go to calls, but going back to Max Keiser. Max, the seismic shift, and I'm going to put it on screen here for Prisonplanet.tv viewers. London Telegraph, last Thursday. Portugal raids pension funds to meet deficit targets, admits that it's private pension funds. They can always argue, oh, government pension funds is welfare. Not if you've been paying into it. They're already rating those. But the government's taken it and shaved, depending on which fund it was, 10 to 20 or even more percentage off. And they say the government now holds your fund in trust and gave it to Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and some of the other European banks. But obviously, I was going to ask you, where is it going? The fact that they don't care that the public's now learning that bank accounts, brokerage accounts, 401ks, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, these indexes, nothing's there. There's hundreds of times derivatives, fraud to what real assets are. As you and other economists we've had on have all basically admitted on the same spectrum. 100 times, 200 times, people debate it. The point is, they've signed us onto their fraud. The military standing by to wage war with us. And the question is, will they stand down? And so what comes next? I guess they just destroy confidence. They don't care. They take it all over and the military stands by. I mean, is that what's going to happen, Max Keiser?
Look, they just rack up huge debts, speculating. And then when it comes time to pay the debt, they raid a pension account, or they raid your commodities account, or they'll steal your mutual fund or your bank account. So there's nobody trying to stop them from racking up these debts. In Europe, the economy and the banking system is collapsing, but the speculators are still racking up more debts. If you notice, the Bank of International Settlements came out with a report just a couple of weeks ago that indicated that the total amount of derivatives in the global banking system has reached a new all-time high of $720 trillion. Remember, after the crisis of 2008, that number decreased by $50 or $60 trillion for temporarily. But now, since nobody did anything to make any laws or to put anybody in jail, and in fact, all the speculators thought that they were being rewarded for doing such a great job endangering the global economy, they have increased the total number of that's to $700 trillion. So anytime that they need to pay any interest, again, it's very small because interest rates are near zero, but they still have interest on $700 trillion. It's still, even if it's 0.001%, it still is a meaningful amount on that amount. So they will raid your pension account. They'll steal from your brokerage account. And, you know, Jamie Dimon over there at JP Morgan, that bank alone has $90 trillion in derivatives on their books. That's bigger than the total GDP of the entire world. The entire global GDP is, let's call it, $60 trillion. JP Morgan has derivatives on their books for $90 trillion. And they say, well,